But I had forgotten Bombadil, if indeed this is still the same that walked the woods and hills long ago, and even then was older than the old. That was not then his name. Yarvain ben Adar we called him, oldest and fatherless. But many another name he has since been given by other folk, Forn by the dwarves, Orald by northern men, and other names beside. He is a strange creature. Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Well then, I think it is appropriate at this point of time, my dear friends, to remind ourselves of the true nature of the character of Tom Bombadil. Now, I have covered this character, I've made a video about him on my channel on multiple occasions. He's got his own separate videos, but I thought why not reiterate it and maybe throw in some more insight, some more information, or really what I think about the character, since he is the topic now, having appeared in the desecration that is called the Rings of Power. Now, who is Tom Bombadil? He is, well, not most likely, but most certainly the most enigmatic, the most mysterious character in the Lord of the Rings novel, of course, famously not having been adapted into the trilogy by Peter Jackson. He is a character of a, as you can see on the screen, by in a beautiful illustration by brothers Hildebrand, a bearded fella, bearded man, dressed in blue and bright colors, singing, hopping, laughing, gathering lilies, living near the old forest, living peaceful life with his wife, Goldberry, the river woman's daughter, who is a river spirit. And I've always thought about her, me being a Central European, half Czech, half Polish, as a character which is very close to Rusalka, the Slavic creature, a water creature, really a water demon or a river or water spirit from Slavic folk tales and mythology. Now, we encounter Tom Bombadil in the Fellowship of the Ring, in the Lord of the Rings, obviously, but that character is much older. I mean, Tolkien wrote a poem, or two of them actually, but the first poem Tolkien wrote about Tom Bombadil was in 1934, which was 3 years before the publication of The Hobbit, and a long time before the publication of The Lord of the Rings, before Tolkien even thought about writing The Lord of the Rings. And so this character goes back, like way back, and he included, if you read the history of Middle-earth, which is like this extensive, vast collection of volumes edited and published by Christopher Tolkien, tracing the history of the creation of Tolkien's Legendarium. Tolkien included Tom Bombadil in The Lord of the Rings in its earliest versions, so he was really always supposed to be there. Now, we get to know in The Lord of the Rings that he is the eldest, which can really mean anything. This is one of the greatest mysteries. He said that he is the eldest the eldest creature, that he walked the earth before the stars, before the Dark Lord came, and that is suggesting not Sauron, but Morgoth. So it is very well possible that he was there before the Valar. So he might very well be the oldest of them all. And of course then, there are many theories as of who he truly is. Some people say he could be one of the Valar. Some people are saying he could be Eru Ilúvatar himself, putting himself in a physical body, living peaceful life in Middle-earth. Who knows? The truth of the matter is that we encounter him in the Fellowship of the Ring when the hobbits are traveling to Rivendell, to Imladris, and Merry and Pippin get stuck or get really in the trunk of the tree Old Man Willow. Of course, Tom Bombadil famously saves them, and then the hobbits spend a couple of days in his house with him and Goldberry in a very dreamlike state. It was like they were stoned all the time, during which we get to know that the ring, the One Ring, has no effect on Tom Bombadil, because, well, he puts him on, right? Or he puts it on, the ring. He basically just by words makes Frodo pull out his ring, lend the ring to Frodo Baggins, and, well, then he tries it on, has no effect on it. Frodo then gets it back from Tom Bombadil, but Tom Bombadil first makes like a little spell, making it disappear. And then, you know, of course, returns it back to Frodo. But Frodo is a little bit suspicious. Is it really the ring, or is it not the ring? Are you giving me something fake? And then Frodo tries to put it on and walk away, but Tom Bombadil sees him, even though, you know, Frodo should be invisible to everybody. And so we get to know that Tom Bombadil has got many powers, and then he is discussed at the Council of Elrond, where Elrond utters the words that I read, in the introduction. So he's very well famous in Middle-earth. He's also famous for really not dabbling into the grander matters of Middle-earth, that he's living by himself, for himself, and for Goldberry, and that even if all the creatures of Middle-earth wanted and pleaded him to take the ring, he probably would have done it, but he would have forgotten about it because it's not important to him. He doesn't really care. So there is mystery upon mystery upon mystery. And I think that this is why he is one of the most important characters in in Tolkien's Legendarium, precisely because he is so mysterious, and he makes the reader think, he makes the reader imagine, he makes the reader theorize, he makes the reader use, their brain cells a little bit, use their imagination. It is not served on a silver platter, who he really is. And Tolkien himself said that on multiple occasions, that Tom Bombadil was supposed to be an enigma from the very get-go. That, even in such a world as Middle-earth, in fiction, where, basically anything can be described by magic or science, mystery is very important. And I think that we can find a very, very beautiful thing that we can say about Tom Bombadil as far as him being the oldest or the eldest, and that he predates everything and everybody. He predates everything and everybody in the secondary world, but also he predates The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit by being, created or published, quote-unquote, first in 1934. And so that is why I think that as far as the adaptation of Tom Bombadil goes, in theory, it could be done, of course. I mean, theoretically, anything is possible. In theory, I could grow wings right now and fly away. And then you have to consider what you would do with Tom Bombadil. What do you want to do with Tom Bombadil? But you would have to adapt Tom Bombadil the way he was in the book. People say that he is not important to the story. Well, he is important to the story. He saves Merry and Pippin. He is extremely important for the reader, as I said and explained a couple of moments ago. He teaches Frodo a song and poem that saves the hobbits from the Barrow-wights. He's extremely important. And so I would say that if you want to adapt Tom Bombadil into a work of art, into a film medium, you would just have to adapt him the way he was in the book. Page by page, quote by quote, in the very nature Tom Bombadil was depicted in the book. And he had thousands upon thousands of adventures before the events in The Lord of the Rings, which is what the Rings of Power are trying to do. But Tolkien never really described in detail what he did before and what he was like. I mean, there is a story that he tells about, him marrying Goldberry. and that he has a history with forest spirits and animals and Old Man Willow, but we don't really see him in Rune as they depicted him in the Rings of Power, being all like serious and grim and dark. And actually, it looks, as of making of this video, in the 4th episode of the 2nd season, that he is going to dabble in the grander matters of Middle-earth, and that he's going to make the Stranger into Gandalf or something, which is anti Tom Bombadil. He doesn't meddle in the matters of Middle-earth. He's a jolly fella, dancing away. Right. So, let me know in the comments down below what you think. And that'll be all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm out of here.